Hi everybody, welcome back to Adonia Academy. In this video, let me show you quickly how I made this cloud cake. If you want to see how I made the piñata, I'll put a link in the description box below. So let's get started. I made this cake without any cloud shaped molds. So I'm using an 8x8 square cake. And I've also baked the same cake in some hemisphere molds. The molds were 3 inches and 1.5 inches. The smaller one were the cake pop molds which we get. So I just simply put the batter and baked them. So now let's start assembling. I'm simply cutting the 8-inch cake into half and filling it with my whipping cream and butterscotch sauce. Before that, if you want, you can slightly soak it with sugar syrup so that the cake remains moist and doesn't become dry until it's eaten. Usually for theme cakes like this, I do soak with a little bit of sugar syrup because from baking to delivery, at least 24 hours pass. So I'm adding some sauce and putting the second layer and covering the whole thing with some whipped cream. Now once you have a good layer of whipped cream and whatever flavoring or sauce you're using, you can start adding in your hemisphere cakes randomly just to make it look like a puffy cloud. So I'm using the whipped cream to stick the cakes in a random order, sometimes overlapping each other, and then I'm going to start carving the base square cake to give it a more rounded shape and get rid of the sharp edges and sides. That looks great. So I'm going to cover this frosted with some melted white chocolate ganache. Make sure you get the ganache into all the nooks and crevices. I'm using an acrylic scraper. If you want to purchase it, I'll put a link in the description box below. Once you have a nice coat of ganache, put it in the fridge to set. Next, I'm making the rainbow with some rolled out fondant and letting it dry. After that, I'm rolling out some white fondant thinly and using that to drape the cloud cake very carefully so that I don't tear my fondant. Use your hands and fingers to get the fondant into all the gaps so that the shape is pronounced and you have a beautiful puffy looking cloud. Once that's done, I'm cutting out the extra and tucking the extra fondant below the cake with a knife. Next, I've added a beautiful chocolate piñata. If you want to see a similar piñata, how to make it, I put a link in the description box below. I also added the dried rainbow and the cake is all set to rock the party.